Hey everybody, it's Ron Jackson, and this is Keeping Tabs with Ron Jackson, and we have special guest, my great friend and student for quite a while now, Mr. Reggie Heggie. Say hi, Reggie. How are you doing?
Hi everyone. How are you? Everything's good.
So we were setting up just now, for television, and what's really funny about this, it probably took much longer to set up just for the show than for our actual podcast. So we're going to be talking about some cool things with Reggie about his playing and his life and things like that. But before we do that, if you'd like to be on the show, everybody, please let me know. This is a show for my patrons and students that are on Patreon. Reggie's been a long time patron on my Patreon. You could check my Patreon out here. Let me show you right now. And I have a new Patreon referral program you can check out. And we're going to just start with a tune right now that Reggie would like to play for now.
I'll remember April.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's do that song first. And let me. I'm going to turn the amp down for that while we're doing that. Here we go. Count it off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Drop, drop, top, melody, melody. Top, top, melody. Yeah, yeah. Woo, woo. Yeah. Reggie Heggie. Yeah, hey everybody, how's everybody doing? So we have special guest Reggie Heggie over here. Hi folks. We have Mr. Paranoid Globinoid watching us and saying hi. Let me say we put up his little comment here. Yeah, so this is Keeping Tabs with Ron Jackson, and we have my special guest Reggie Heggie, and we just played a song called I'll Remember April. So thanks Reggie for coming on the show. So you started studying with me back when?
Six or 7 years ago, Ron. I was doing full-time working and always playing 1 hour a day, getting lessons here and there and workshops here and there. And I went on the internet looking for someone who could help me play better. And I found you by way of Brooklyn, it's the Brooklyn School.
Brooklyn Conservatory of Music?
Conservatory of Music. From their website, I checked you out, and I went on YouTube, found you, and I called you.
You know, but didn't you? Were you recommended by Eric Lemon, the bassist?
Eric knew you. Yeah, I did hear about your name from Eric Lemon.
Yes.
And followed up through there, and it's been great because I'm putting more time in, learning things I had never thought about before, playing what I don't know. You know, I had a habit of just going to the things I already knew and just repeating what I already knew. And you would always say, Reggie, play what you don't know. And that's helped.
Well, always practice new things, but also review old things too. I noticed, like I have to always review, listen, because people will forget things after a while. If you haven't played a jazz standard in years, I need to review, and also I like to look at things. If I'm learning the melody, if I haven't played the melody in a long time, I'll actually try to, listen more. Listen to the different version. Look at the sheet music. Just remember, just to refresh my memory. Now, I want to ask you a question. You used to be before you started playing guitar. Not actually trying to really study the guitar. Did you study before? And how long have you been playing? What did you? What made you want to start playing guitar? At what age were you then?
I've always wanted to play. Not always wanted to play guitar. As a young person. Listening to Wes Montgomery, started getting into Jimi Hendrix.
Did you ever see these guys play? Because how old are you actually, Reggie?
No, I'm 71.
Yeah.
I'm 71, so Jimi Hendrix is right up my alley. Wes Montgomery was a little before me, but I just always loved his sound, and I would hear it on the radio, Wes Montgomery playing stuff, and I just loved it.
Did you ever get a chance to see these guys play?
No, unfortunately. No.
I wish I could have seen Wes. No. Or those kind of guys. I mean, I was too young, but were you old enough to see them? Actually,
I was old enough to see Jimi Hendrix. And
did you see him? Never did. Oh yeah, because he was around. I mean, he died so young though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 27, I think.
So I picked up the guitar when I was 18.
Oh, 18.
Okay, 18, and I'm like, zero music theory. He said, like, I remember being in a music store, and I asked the guy, I said, what's the key? He said, they were talking about,
A key?
playing in keys, playing in
I have a
different
key
keys.
right here. My keys are in my
So I
pocket.
said, well, what is the key? And he said to me, imagine living in an apartment building that has 12 apartments,
Yeah.
and they're all related to each other, but different. And he said he kind of was saying that's what music is, and that way each apartment is
Yeah.
like a key. They're all related, but they're different. And
Yeah.
understanding and that kind of helped me begin to understand music theory.
Yeah.
And I went to Jazzmobile at one point.
Yeah. So so this time, so you started at 18, but you always had you actually worked as in a different field.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
By the age of 21, I got into IT, computers, and I worked in computers for like 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, I always had my guitar. I was taking lessons.
Who did you study with then?
Jazzmobile, where they had Ted Dunbar was there.
I studied with Ted Dunbar.
I went to two of his sessions, two of his classes. The first time I went to, or the first semester I got into his class, I had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, Ted Dunbar is a great guitar teacher. I got recommended to him by the great guitarist named Peter Bernstein when I first went to New York, and I started studying with him. I really learned the guitar neck because of this guy. Mm-hmm. And he also taught a lot of great guitar players. He taught a lot of the guitar players like Bobby Broom, Rodney Jones, mm-hmm. those kind of guys. And so how when you took the classes, was it like a bunch of classes or?
Yeah, well, I was taking the guitar class, but the thing about Jazzmobile is, during the break you could walk into any session and kind of just hang out and listen to different sessions. I remember one time I just went into the band section, just sat there and listened to the band, and Dizzy Gillespie was there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, I just went and sat in the back, and he was schooling everybody, and he was talking about what you talk about, Ron.
Yeah.
Being able to hum or sing out what you play. If you play, you should be able to verbalize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just being in Jazzmobile. I went there for about 4 or 5 years.
And then after that, did you study with anybody else during that time, during your work career?
Yeah, I have. I can't think of the teacher's name, but I did a couple of workshops with a few guitarists. So
did you during those years? Did you study consistently with other teachers?
Not consistently. Consistently. Eric Lemon had a workshop. I went to Eric's workshop.
Eric Lemon's a great bass player.
And
that's in town that we both know.
Right. I was the only guitarist, but I was still picking up what his music theory and learning what he was.
Yeah.
What he had to say about bass and the music history in general. About what jazz means to people.
Yeah.
So
So now here's the question. So you started. You retired at what age?
65.
So then you started studying with me ever since then?
Ever since then.
So you've been studying with me consistently since you retired.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
Yeah, so so just so you know, everybody, on this show, a disclaimer, this show is for keeping tabs on my students and patrons on Patreon. If you want to be on the show, you could just join my Patreon right now. It's right there. And I'm inviting all my patrons and former students and current students to be on this show by invite only. And we talk about, a lot of my students, have careers or starting a new career, like Reggie. He's starting to perform out now after all these years. You've never been on a podcast or anything, on TV or anything?
No, not at all.
Never.
Not at all.
So I was surprised to hear that, just so you guys know. Just so you know, it's an interesting. He got to see me set up. It took me longer to set up than just to do the podcast right now.
But let me also say this, Ron.
Sure.
I mean, just in terms of, and people should understand this.
Sure.
I thought about before I got a guitar teacher, I was looking for someone I can work with. It was apparent to me when I look at other professionals. Let's say, for instance, professional basketball player. They have trainers. They have professional tennis players. They have coaches. And these are people who are already at an accomplished level who are still learning, still uh,
Yes.
looking for instruction. So I said, to me, it made sense to get a guitar teacher. You know, and you not only provide the guitar, but you also provide the professional insight
Yes.
into the field itself. You know what it means. So I've seen you play. I've seen Ron.
Yeah,
play at
he comes out to my
venues,
many gigs and
and
supported me for all
watching
this.
how you support your, I mean, how you present yourself. You know, how you play and how you communicate with the audience.
Yeah, that's
and
a
with
skill. All
and
this
with
stuff.
the musicians around you. You know, and how you read the audience. You know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people when they're playing jazz, everybody they play for themselves sometimes. But you know, I try to make sure I communicate with my audience.
Mm-hmm.
Just like being on a podcast, you have to communicate. You know, when you're talking to your audience, actually. So, you know, what's really interesting though is that you know, a lot of I'm a professional guitar player. But I still need to study. So I've taken lessons over the years myself, like with pros. It's true, all the greats still study. I mean, I studied with Mike Stern recently, the great Mike Stern. And he still he takes lessons all the time. And I can't do that all the time. I don't have time, you know. And but he actually studies all the time. He recommended me to a teacher. And a couple of years ago, after I took a lesson with him, and I didn't even have time to study with this guy. And I've studied with you know, all kinds of guys. You know, Ted Dunbar's one, Bucky Pizzarelli that got me to the 7-string guitar here, everybody. Things like that. So it's important to study all the time. You'll always learn something new. You know, I'm always looking at different things and different ways, approaches. You know, so why did you actually did you find any other teachers that you were interested in, or?
No, I mean to be honest.
Did you ever want to try to study with other people too?
Yeah. I've Gene Capelli, way back in my 20s.
Oh, who was he actually?
He
was a local guy, no?
He was a local guy. I studied with him for about 3 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't have the discipline.
Oh.
I didn't, folks. I would. He would give me an assignment. I'd work on it some. I'd miss a few days, and I'd come back for my lesson. He says, "Reg, you haven't been practicing." You know, so he got me thinking I need to commit more and even just pick it up. Some days I don't feel like playing. If I just pick it up,
you just got to pick up the guitar.
Start playing.
You know, I recommend. I just want to let everybody know. I mean, you know, and I tell you this. I mean, being a pro, it's very important. If you want to learn your instrument really well, you can't just practice 1 hour, or let's say 2 hours one day, and then don't practice for the 3 or 4 days. It does not work like that.
Right.
Because what will happen is you can't retain the information. It's the repetition that helps you retain the information. And I think lessons are like that too. If you go to a lesson Reggie basically comes every couple of weeks, you know, and you know, when he's not, you know, doing, you know, vacation or traveling, whatever, because you're retired now too. Basically, the repetition of a lesson, a teacher telling you, will actually help you get better too. I noticed with my students who sometimes don't practice as much as they should. So it's very important, everybody, to have somebody always helping you, no matter all through your life. You know, Andre Segovia practiced till he was 5 hours a day till he died in his 90s. You know, so you know what I mean. So let's play another song for the audience. You know, because we have a couple songs worked out too.
Okay.
But we have my special guest Reggie Heggie. And it's his first time being on TV or anything like this all his life, you know, and he's retired, studies with me now for the last 5 years. I mean, I think he started studying with me in 2018, actually. And that's like 6 years now. And he's a great guy. Now, you know, and if you're interested in studying with me, just, you know, send me a message. Just go to my website, ronjacksonmusic.com, or go just join my Patreon. I just want to do a disclaimer, everybody. I'd like to... here's some of the things. I'd like to thank these guys, everybody, called Rock Lock, for helping me with they have great products. Check them out. You know, I just did their guitar strap holders, the quick release guitar strap holders. They're great guys. And also, if you want to learn about lessons and stuff, I have, you know, I just started my printable lessons as physical lessons. You know, you can go to my website and get these things now and download these types of things. So check it out, okay? Now, and you know, please share my live stream and follow me everywhere at Ron Jackson Music. What's yours? What's your Instagram and all that? I know you don't use the social media that much.
Right. Yeah, I don't use social media that much. I was on Instagram, but I haven't been using it. So,
oh yeah. You know, I use Instagram a lot less. I'm on YouTube a lot more now, everybody, just so you know. Mm-hmm. And TikTok a lot less, even though I have a lot of followers there. But we're gonna play another song that Reggie prepared for us. What would you like to do?
Softly as in the morning sun. Did I get the name right?
Softly as a morning sunrise.
As a morning sunrise.
Yeah, here we go. So count off, Reggie. I'm gonna turn this down for a second. Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Reggie Heggie, everybody. Mr. Reggie Heggie, my special guest on Keeping Tabs with Ron Jackson, my new podcast. Where we have the whole goal of my podcast is for professionals, semi-professionals, students, patrons of mine who are up and coming, who are starting to perform out or who are already established. Some of my guests actually are going to be people who are actually have won awards already or performing, gigging, touring. I have some young students right now that are like top talented jazz guitarists in the country right now. They're going to be on my show soon. Former students. Reggie's a current student and a current Patreon on my Patreon as well. And I'm inviting these guests by invitation. So thank you everybody for watching. If you want to be a patron on my Patreon, just go to ronjacksonmusic.com and check it out on my Patreon. And I have a referral program right now. And I'm just letting Reggie know, I don't think you know this, but if you refer somebody to become a guitar student, they pay for a year subscription on Patreon. Starting at the $9 level, you get a 10% discount, and also you get a free half hour yourself.
I can use it. I'll take it.
Yeah, he'll take it. He'll take all the free lessons. So that's open to anybody actually. So, let me say hi. Thank you, Jeff Lindo, Jerry Lindo. Thank you for watching my podcast. There are going to be some more episodes coming up, and also, thank you for saying brilliant. I appreciate you guys, and thank you. Paranoid Globinoid. I like that name. So you can watch my podcast again. It's called Keeping Tabs with Ron Jackson Music. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Reggie, for being on. Anything else you have to say before you?
No, just, hey, folks, Ron's the best. He cares. He cares about your playing. He gives you all the information. He's unselfish in his knowledge.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to say this to everybody. It's always good to give out knowledge because, no one's going to play like you. And it's not about giving out knowledge, everybody. It's not it's what you do with the knowledge. Like I give a lot of knowledge actually on YouTube. If you go, I give a lot of exercises. But just so you guys know, a lot of people ask me on YouTube, so how do you find the root on the guitar neck? And I say, what you have to do, everybody, is you have to practice. Now, a lot of people look on YouTube to try to get some free lessons and free stuff. But at the end, if you can't find the notes yourself, you're going to need help. So that's why it's always good to have a guitar teacher. I still study, and I'm a professional. So, for people who want to get into music and really get serious about it, it's always good to study and have some guidance somehow, because everybody does it who's a pro, and all the guys like, I'm friends with Alex Skolnick. His teacher was Joe Satriani, and we play together a lot, and they all hang out together. They all study with each other. It's important to be like that, and and give knowledge to everybody. Mm-hmm. So I hope to see you guys soon, and thank you for watching my live stream. You could watch this over and over, and you could share it with your friends. Keeping Tabs with Ron Jackson. It was really a pleasure to have you watch, and pleasure to have you, Reggie.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on the
Thank
show.
You for having me
Reggie
on the
Heggie.
show.
Check him out if you see him on the internet.
Guys.
And we'll talk soon, everybody. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.